Revision Zero is the new exotic pulse rifle inside of Destiny 2. It is one of the most unique exotic weapons, having multiple exotic catalysts, 4 to be exact, and also multiple firing modes. For example, you can charge up the targeting data and then turn the weapon into a sniper rifle that does an insane amount of damage. Just watch this. And the only way to get this exotic is to have the season pass for Season of the Seraph and then complete the exotic mission Seraph's Shield. This mission is designed to be done multiple times in multiple different ways over a different period amount of time to help unlock all the different catalysts. In addition, there's going to be some security drone balls that are located all throughout the solar system, and you shoot them with Revision Zero, and that will unlock an exotic sparrow that is necessary for the seal. Make sure you get subscribed so you don't miss that. All right, solo players, so let's actually talk about how you get into the exotic mission. The first thing you need to do is unlock a Seraph chest at the end of the heist battlegrounds. Doesn't matter if it's normal or the legend difficulty, and then talk to the exo frame, and that will unlock the exotic quest that can be accessed through the helm. Let's talk about loadouts and gear. This mission is one of the easier exotic missions that you can do, but here are a couple of weapons and things that I would recommend. I would recommend that you have some gear for platforming, because there's a lot of that, whether that's a sword or an exotic like transversive steps or stompies. I would recommend having a blinding grenade launcher to help out with some of the turret sections, an SMG and avoid weapon to deal with all the mobs, and then a long range weapon to deal with any shanks that you may run into. Last weapon to bring would be some kind of boss DPS weapon, whether that's a Taipan linear fusion or rocket or something to that effect. I found the Taipan to be the best with triple tap and focused fury. I'm using a Gear Falcons build here. It's not required. This mission does not require an insane amount of DPS, but there are a lot of adds that you will need to deal with. All right, let's hop on into it. The first thing you're going to have is going to be an infiltration that's very similar to some of the story missions that we've gotten this season. There's a whole lot of towers here, and if they see you for longer than 15 seconds, they will blow you up. And here's a quick note: even if you go invisible, if they have their eye on you, they can kill you. So the best way to do this if you're a hunter is to make sure that you're invisible before you go out and get spotted. Other classes just run past it, use cover. It is not a big deal. I'd stay to the left-hand side. There's a lot of cover, including trees. That will be the easiest way to get to the entrance. There's going to be an ogre up at the front as well. You can either blind him with a blinding grenade launcher, or you can just run right by him. Your choice. Quick note, there is a solo flawless triumph, but it's not going to give you an emblem or anything else like that. In this particular run, I did do this solo flawless on my third attempt. Here is something you're going to run into a lot. A lot of these lasers may kill you, and if you're going for solo flawless, you will need to watch out for them. Just be careful, head to the left, and follow the path that you see here on screen. Eventually, you will end up in the launch center. If you've ever played the Deepstone Crypt raid, this is going to look very familiar. In fact, this is really just Deepstone Crypt, the exotic mission. That's really all there is. The 3 buffs, the scanner, the operator, and the suppressor, are going to be things that we use. We're going to start off with the scanner buff, which is the yellow buff that looks like an eyeball. When you have the scanner augment, you'll be able to scan and hack different computer consoles and see certain things inside of the exotic mission, and most critically, move forward through the mission itself. All right, once you activate the 3 terminals with the scanner buff, you're going to wait for the space pods to get ready to go and bring you up into space. If you've never done the Deepstone Crypt, this is really cool. Definitely take a second and look around, because it's a very cool view. Here's our first secret here in the engineering sector. You may or may not see a lot of little drones here. One of them will have the yellow augment scanner grid on it. Once you blow one up, another one will light up, and so on and so forth, until when you finally destroy all of the drones, there'll be a notification that shows up in the bottom left-hand side. A security door has been opened. That is the secret chest at the end of the entire mission. Now, if you don't see those drones here in this area, there is another spot inside of the mission that has those drones, and I'll show you where that is here in a little bit. Before you can progress, you have to drop the augment into the thing that kind of looks like a little bit of a digital shower. Once you dunk that inside that terminal, then you'll be able to go to the next room. In the next room, you got a bunch of enemies. You'll see another scanner buff. Kill those enemies really quickly. Pick up the scanner buff, and right behind you, there'll be a terminal that you'll need to access. Once you get that accessed, you'll see in the room next door, there's going to be a terminal, but you can't get inside that room. Oh, wait. Yes, you can. There's a secret grate just back over there. Go through here, and then you'll be able to access the next room after you go through this area. In this next area, blow up all the mines, kill all the enemies. There's really no big threat here, but the mines are kind of annoying, especially if you're trying to go pretty quickly. There's also a room with lasers back behind here. Potentially that is going to be another secret room, so keep your eyes out for that. Go back through the shaft to the door. There's a ton of mines in this next room, so just take them out from a distance before you do that. Hack this console, and then you'll be able to go into the next room. Hey, remember I told you there's another section where there's a bunch of little drones? Here it is. Kill the servitor real quick so you don't have to mess around with him, and then look around. You'll see one of the little drones lit up as yellow. Remember to look up and down because the drones can be out of your line of sight. Just like with the other room, if you get all 5 of them taken care of, then a notification will pop up above your super indicator, and that will tell you that there is a door open at the end. There are more secret chests in this exotic mission, but for right now, these are the only ones that we have access to as of week 1. That's without any glitches or exploits or anything else like that, although some people have found some chests that way. In addition, this area, there is going to be a Rasputin Warmind node. If you climb up above the door, there's going to be a platform that will have this Rasputin node. If you have an enhanced resonant amp set up and you've actually consumed some resonant stems, you can consume them and then potentially pick up one of the Ikelos weapons. All right, head through the door. There's going to be a bunch of enemies that you need to kill. There is nothing crazy about this, just a whole bunch of shanks. Honestly, this is not very hard to do, so I'm going to speed it up. So after that, pick up the scanner, and then you'll be able to find a computer node back by the entrance. There's a large column there. There's the first terminal you'll need to hack. Once you do that, you need to go search and find the next computer terminal. Spoiler alert, there's a room that you can't get into over to the left-hand side. If you try to go in through this door here, it won't let you, so you have to find an alternate way to go. So turn back around and jump up on top. There's another ventilation shaft that you can climb your way through and get to the room that you did not have access to before. Now, when you come into this room, there are going to be a bunch of lasers. If you want the solo flawless triumph, just take your time and don't rush through here. At this point, hack the terminal, wait for the lasers to despawn, and they'll all be safe. Couple more enemies to kill, but then we're on to the next section. Now, you'll notice with the scanner app, you're going to see 4 computer terminals here behind some glass. One of them will be lit up with the scanner app. Think of the way that they're set up left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4. For me, I have to get the second one from the left, go into the next room, and if you don't get rid of your augment, it will actually deactivate. There's a grid of lasers right here. If you select the wrong terminal, you will die, but I used the scanner augment and figured out that this is the correct one. Hit that and head into the room. Go to the left-hand side. There will be an open door, and in there will be, again, a whole ton of mines. Knock them out, and then the next area, there will be a ton of exploder shanks. Kill them really quickly before you get to the next room, and then you'll see a bunch of turrets. You have 2 choices here. If you're a hunter, you can go invisible, but I really recommend a blinding grenade launcher here because you can just blind them for a second and that will actually stop the turrets. It also does a nice amount of damage, but in any case, what you need to do is climb these columns here and go up to the next door that is open. There will be a turret blocking your way, but you can just knock it out when you get in the next room, and then you'll see a room full of fallen. This is a 2-level room, and that is going to be important later on, but for right now, just kill all the enemies that are in this room. There is a turret downstairs, so make sure that that doesn't kill you if you're going for the solo flawless triumph. I'll speed through this because this is literally just killing enemies really quickly. This is very simple and easy to do. So we'll speed through it and then actually go to the part that's a little bit more tricky. If you have not killed the fallen enemy that has the scanner app, make sure you pick it up. He will be standing right here by this computer console. And with the scanner augment, we can see that there are 3 groups of 3 terminals. One of each set of 3 will be lit up. You need to remember the order that they are in because you need to activate them in the room below. But there's a catch, and this is the thing that most people miss. On the floor in the room where you activate those terminals, there are a bunch of lasers, but also a predetermined path that you have to travel. Again, if you forget the order, you can just really quickly take a look at that. But then if you head downstairs, you'll need to memorize this path that is here. I do not know if this is going to change every week. It did not change for me at any point, but what I did was take a screenshot of this path that I needed to take and then use that when I was going through for my solo flawless triumph. I can tell you that there is 0 room for error. If you step even just a little bit over one of the lines, you will die. I'm going to show you the path here right on screen. The terminals will be different every time, but the path during week 1 at least is exactly the same. I ran it probably 4 times. Each time this path on the ground was exactly the same. For those of you familiar with 0 Hour, you probably remember that there was a room similar to this, and each week that path actually changed. So make sure that you use the scanner augment. Now you know how the mechanic works, and then you can actually do that every single week. Just be very careful here, whether you're going through all of the platforms. You may want to take a sword out during this portion just to make sure that your character model is right there. Like I said, there is zero room for error when you're doing this. Just take your time and then you'll be able to knock this out. Again, being very careful, double checking your picture. If you took one, a screenshot is very helpful, especially if you're looking through that window. It's really easy in case you're nervous and you want to get the solo flawless triumph. But in any case, once you activate the final terminal, all the lasers will disappear and then you'll be able to safely go to the next section with no issues. That part is the area that I think most people have problems with, but that is no big deal now that you know the mechanic. Go to the next room, kill a bunch of enemies, and you will see a new augment, the operator augment. The operator augment lets you shoot different panels with your weapon. You'll see that one of them is lit up red with a grid, and that will show you the correct thing you need to shoot. Usually they are on a panel or something that you need to shoot specifically. When you head into the next room, there's a bunch of Hive that you need to kill. Watch out for the exploders. There's nothing crazy about this, so we're speeding up through it. However, there is another Rasputin node here. Go into the red room to the left-hand side and then go through. As long as you've activated the enhanced resonant amp, there will be a Warmind node that you can pick up there and pick up another Ikelos weapon. Quick tip, if you want to, you can actually pick up another override frequency. That way you can get more of these nodes taken care of before you finish up the mission. And then I can pick up the next node when I go on through. In that next room, there are 4 large computer servers. On one of them, there will be a switch that you'll need to activate. Hit that, the door will open in the next area here. And there's a bunch of Hive in this next room. You can shoot them all through this door, including the 2 Shriekers. But there will be some cursed thrall here that can blow up and ruin your day if you're not paying attention to them. But make sure you knock them out. There's also a secret laser room off to the left-hand side, but we're not going to mess with that this week. We're going to go into the ventilation shaft, and then we are not going to be able to go all the way through. We'll actually shoot the terminal that is over on the right-hand side, go back the way we came, and once we do that, there will be another ventilation shaft that you can sneak through in the previous area that we're at. There's a tall column over on the left-hand side. Again, watch out for any cursed thralls that do come through this, but go over to the left-hand side, there will be a large column, and now there's a ventilation shaft that is open here. Sneak through here, again, a bunch of Hive that you'll need to kill. And once you do that, there will be a window that you'll need to shoot through again. Here is the little hidden side, and there's the terminal that you need to shoot. Once you do that, sneak back through the ventilation shaft, and the next area that you need to go to will be open. There's going to be a bunch of Hive in this next room, and just like before, a bunch of enemies that you need to kill, a bunch of mines you need to shoot. There's nothing major here. But when you get into the next room, there are going to be 2 turrets, one on the ceiling, one on the ground to the right-hand side, that can ruin your day if you are not paying attention. So knock them out. Again, a blinding grenade launcher will stun them and keep them from firing at you. Very easy to take care of the section, but I just want to point out those turrets right there. There's going to be a couple more enemies that spawn and a couple little notifications around the room, but all you really need to do is put your operator augment into the terminal here and open up the area to the next room. No more puzzling. Now we actually just have a large combat section, which I'm going to speed through here because it's a very simple encounter. Blow up all the barrels in the middle area. There will be a Hive boss with a shield. Once you kill a couple of the fallen enemies, the shield will come down, do some damage to the Hive boss, and then he'll retreat, and then a bunch more fallen enemies will spawn up and 3 large brigs. Note that the brigs don't have a critical shot on them until their health is about halfway and their fronts explode. At that point, you can use like a taipan, but I basically just used my super, stayed behind cover, played pretty smart here. There is nothing crazy about this. And once you kill all of the fallen enemies in this room, you can move to the next section. This next part is pretty cool, but I wish they would have done a little bit more with it. You go into this area, you quote, surrender your weapons, and then you get teleported onto the fallen catch, which takes you out into outer space, which is really cool. However, a quick note, do not change weapons while you are in this third-person perspective. I changed to a sword for platforming, and when I was supposed to get my weapons back, I was actually stuck in the third person. I couldn't shoot, I couldn't do anything except dodge and use all of my different abilities. I was able to fix this by using my super, so if this happens to you, use your super. That should knock you back into first person, but I recommend you just wait and change your weapons once you get all your weapons back. Hit a couple of switches and things like that, and then move forward out into the outer space area, probably the coolest part of this mission. There will be a thin satellite arm that you'll need to hop on top of. If you're having issues with it, take out a sword. Swipe it a couple of times, do that, and you'll get your jump back. And then you should be able to get to the top of this arm. Make sure that when you're up here, you take a picture of yourself with the traveler, and then you're going to head down over to the satellite arm down here. Just keep following these satellite arms as you go forward, and then there will be a path over to the left-hand side. Watch out for the power arrays that are spinning around, and then you'll see the walkway down over there. This is also a great time to get your sniper out and take care of a couple of enemies that you may run into a little bit later on that will annoy you. A quick note, there are a ton of little walkways and different platforms on the bottom of the satellite station, and I'm sure that there's going to be some different secrets that we'll need to find in this area. But for right now, we're going to cover the main path. The farther forward you go on the main path, the more fallen catches will come in and drop different shanks to try and kill you, whether they are sniper shanks or exploder shanks. So you just need to watch yourself as you're moving forward through this. This portion, there's going to be a operator buff on this platform here. Knock out these 2 mines, and then if you look to the left hand side, there will be a switch that you can hit. That's going to extend a maintenance arm that will help you platform to the next section. As soon as you hit that, there will be more exploder shanks coming at you. And if you move to this area, there's going to be some knights that are going to be shooting you from a distance. So take them out before you do anything else. On the outside of this arm here will be the next panel that will extend the next maintenance arm. The last switch will be on the platform that you need to jump to. You'll have 3 maintenance arms that you can jump to. Again, I really advocate for you pulling out a sword if you are having issues platforming. It will help out significantly seeing where your character model needs to go. In this section, there's going to be a Hive Knight plus a whole bunch of fallen shanks and things that you'll need to knock out that will be trying to kill you. A scout rifle and a sniper work really well in this section. A little bit more light platforming here, and you will be at the docking bay section that you need to go to. I'm going to show this jumping path here on screen for those people who can't really see where it is. And then there's going to be a bunch of enemies that you need to fight, or if you're a hunter, you can just go invisible. Whatever you choose to do, drop your augment into the terminal, grab some heavy ammo, and then head into the next area here. At this point, you'll finish off the Hive boss that you were fighting earlier in the mission. This is not very hard to do. Just watch yourself because there will be some Hive enemies, but this Hive boss is actually very easy to kill. Just keep your distance and you should be good to go. If you have another Rasputin Warmind core, what you'll need to do is head into this area in the same room as the boss. Watch out for the lasers because the lasers can kill you here. The node is at the end of this hallway. Once you get all done with that, head over into the right-hand door that is now open. And again, you're going to have an operator buff, but there's also going to be a scanner buff that you're going to need to interact with. Pick up the operator buff and shoot the panel here. That will open this door. And then there will be a scanner augment right up in front of you. There's going to be a terminal over to the right-hand side of this room that you can dump the augments in when you need to flip them. The augments are going to stay on the ground, so whichever one you need is really easy to pick up. Pick up the scanner buff, and then there's going to be a terminal you'll need to hack right here in this room. Dump off the scanner buff back into the terminal, then go pick up the operator buff again. Once you do that, you can go to the other panel in this room, open up that door, then go flip it one more time at this terminal. Then pick up the scanner buff again, go to the next room, and at this point, be very careful because there's going to be a whole ton of exploder shanks coming for you. So then go into the next room, and then there will be a terminal you'll hack to the left-hand side. There's a couple of turrets in this area, but a blinding grenade launcher will make quick work of them. Nothing major here in this section. A door will open up in the previous room, and that will take you to this area full of a bunch of fallen enemies. Knock them out, and then you'll have to do the augment flip again, where you'll dump the scanner buff in the terminal, pick up the operator buff, and then on the opposite side of the wall, there will be a panel you'll need to shoot, which will open the door, kill all the enemies. Then you'll need to flip the 2 buffs again, go to the augment terminal and dump that off, and then pick up the scanner buff. When you pick up the scanner buff, there will be a computer terminal back behind this section here. As soon as you do that, a bunch of exploder shanks will come at you. Jump through the transmat portal here, kill these enemies, and then dump your augment in the augmentation terminal to the left-hand side. And now it's time to learn how to use this suppressor augment. The suppressor mechanic is pretty simple. There's going to be 3 spheres with a circle underneath them. With the augment, stand in the circle and then shoot the target you want the EMP to go off to. This will then suppress that enemy and then open the door here to the left-hand side. Then you can break his shield drone, then kill the servitor, and then it's time for the boss fight. Dump your augment into the augmentation terminal, drop a rally flag, pick up some ammo, and off we go. The boss fight is very simple. Get the boss down to the 1/3 marker on his life, At that point, a suppressor augment fallen enemy will show up on top of one of the bridges, but there's also going to be a ton of scorn enemies that you'll need to fight. Mow through them and then find the 3 suppressor circles located throughout the room. Target the boss with the EMP, and as soon as all 3 of them have activated, the doors will open on the left, right, and middle side of the room. Pull up each of the 3 generators, and then at that point, the boss will be damageable again. At any point, if you feel like you're getting swarmed by enemies, a good blinding grenade launcher will do a very nice job. And repeat the process one more time. Do damage to the boss, pick up the suppressor buff, deal with the scorn, stand underneath the suppressor nodes, and shoot the boss. Once all 3 of them are activated, destroy all 3 of the shield generators at the left, right, and middle sides of the room, and then knock out the boss and be done with the mission. At this point, head to the left-hand side. There's going to be the room where you upload the virus, but there will also be the 2 rooms where if you've activated the secret chests, you can pick up some Seraph loot from this, as well as the main loot from the main chest. In addition, in the final room, there will be off to the left-hand side, the final Warmind node. In addition to all the different triumphs you get, you can then place them all in the basement of the exoframe area. Once all 4 of them are put together in each of the different groups, there is a cool little Easter egg where each group of them will play a different piece of music, and it's actually pretty cool to listen to. I'm not sure if there's anything else that is a secret triumph with this, but we will be watching this in the future. After that, head over to the exoframe at the helm and then collect the revision 0 with the deep sight progress. If you want to save the higher power level version of it, just go into your exotic collections and pick up one of the revision 0s from there, and you can actually extract the deep sight resonance from that, and that will keep your higher power level revision 0. Once you have the deep sight extracted, all you got to do is go over to the enclave and then shape the first version of your revision 0. I'm sure there will be multiple versions of this since there are 4 catalysts, but that's all there is to it. Enjoy your revision 0 solo players, and if this guide did help you out, a subscription is greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section down below. Good hunting, and I'll see you next time in the universe of Destiny.